Right then, hello, good evening, and welcome. My name is Paul. I'm also called Knickknack. I am the brains. So help me God behind Knickknack's daily teaser. You'll probably see a link to that in the little eye in this corner of the video. You'll probably find you'll be able to see more of my content with that as well, and you'll probably be able to go into all sorts of rabbit holes. You may not be aware of it, but one of those rabbit holes is where I talk about films that I've seen, and I really should see another one. I've not seen any good movies in a while. You'll also find that rabbit hole leads to some of the TV shows I've watched. A couple of weeks ago, I caught the ending of Star Trek Discovery. That's floating around somewhere on my channel. And I've also been watching Season 2 of The Mandalorian, the series by Disney+. I've seen Episode 3 of the second series, or Chapter 11, The Heiress, last night, and I wanted to tell you about it. Episode 3, or Chapter 11, The Heiress, opens with a brief flashback to the Mandalorian's first season and reminds us that a Mandalorian never takes their mask off, never uncovers their face. It then moves on to remind us of last week's episode of how the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal, has been hired to take the Frog Lady to a moon called Trask so her spawn can be fertilized without getting eaten by the child. Her husband directs our hero to a local inn where the Mandalorian finds a group of Quarren fishermen, seemingly happy to help him find what he's after. It's only when those trawlermen try drowning the Mandalorian that help arrives in the shape of Bo-Katan of the clan of Heiress, played by Katie Sackhoff, along with her team. They're a group of very unconventional Mandalorians who, for a start, they're unconventional enough to take off their helmets. This is not the way. At any rate, they're a group who know exactly what they're after. They know exactly where to find the Jedi that the Mandalorian is after, but they need a little bit of help in return. It seems they're after raiding a former Imperial gunship because they're after its weaponry to help Bo-Katan find something. It seems their kinsman is just the type to help. Now, first things first, was this another good episode? I'll admit I'm in a couple of different minds here. In the one sense, I'm going to say possibly, because it moves the story on. I don't know that it's a stunner of a story, but it moves the story on, and again, it's extremely well made. Disney seem to be throwing money at this series, and you see quite a lot of it on screen. It's a good show. It's not the best of the 3 episodes we've seen so far, in my humble opinion. But again, it's well made, and it's moved the story forward. It's taken us a step nearer to the Jedi the Mandalorian is trying to find. It's introduced us to the Katie Sackhoff character, Bo-Katan, she's long been a feature of the animated spin-offs, ones I've not personally seen. So it's interesting to see, for me, a new old character. She's a new character to me, although she's been around a while, and she's an interesting one to see. I know Katie Sackhoff through her work as Starbuck on Battlestar Galactica, who reminds me of some Terry Pratchett characters I've seen who quite happily describe themselves as being a collection of bad habits marinated in alcohol. That's Starbuck. She's not the gung-ho of the original series, but she's a feisty, fighting ace pilot who likes a cigar and likes a beer or two. Bo-Katan seems very, very different, very regal, very royal. The hairpiece Katie Sackhoff actually had reminds me of Michelle Forbes in Star Trek. It's that kind of bobbed cut to it as well, which is a very different character. It's showing us Katie Sackhoff's chops, as it were. But seeing this character, I'm sort of going sideways there. I'm digressing a little. The episode gives us a hint of what's to come. It's a step forward. It's telling us this is this step done. Bo-Katan's after this. Here's what the Mandalorian gets in return. So it tells us a story, and it tells us a nicely paced one as well. Quite frankly, I'm going to be sitting in with another episode next Saturday on the 28th of February of 2021. I'll have my written and video review up on the 1st of March, i.e. the Sunday, and I'll tell you what, I will tell you two things for free. One, I would love it if you joined me. Two, I'm actually looking forward to it. It's Disney and Star Wars combined are telling us a very good story, I think, a nicely plotted and nicely done one. I'll be watching next week. I would love it if you join me. I'll see you then. Have a good evening.